right, so if you run an apparel brand, Meta's new Andromeda update could tank your ads unless you do this. Most apparel brands are still using outdated ad strategies and Meta's punishing them for it. Here's exactly how we're fixing that, not just for our clients, but for hundreds of clothing brands every year that we consult with. And I'll show you step by step how to make Meta crave your ads without relying on interest targeting, please don't, lookalike audiences, or bid caps. All right, so here's the latest article that Meta released. It was in December of 2024. Why does that matter? Okay, that was the rollout. And then by April of 2025, it started to actually roll out to brands. And the reason that a lot of people are freaking out right now is because at the end of August, beginning of September, everything pretty much across all of the accounts were updated. So in this video, I'm going to break down what this actually means, and I want to also jump over to a more reliable resource that I've been following for probably about 10 years now that will really help y'all before we get into building out the account structure, the changes that need to make, and the focus here. This is John Loomer's blog, so let me show you this, and just like I said, real quickly, I'll kind of go over Meta's side, and we'll reference back to this because I do think that the way that Meta broke this down is completely fine. There's some good graphs, etc. But John Loomer, in my opinion, he is where advertisers go to look at advertising. It's a little geeky, so if that's you, go check him out. Highly suggest it. If it's not, I'm going to give this at a level that most brand owners can understand here. His breakdown is pretty simple. This is all free. He's still writing blogs. He does do some short form content. So let's talk through the technical details of Andromeda, and then I'll make it a little bit easier for you guys to understand. So Meta's Andromeda is an innovative end-to-end hardware software machine learning co-design system introduced in 2024. The more efficient system enabled a 10,000x increase in the complexity of models used for ads retrieval. The first step in the ranking process where we narrow down a pool of tens of millions of ads to a few thousand we consider showing to someone. So basically what it's saying is previously there was tons of different ads that were shown to people that may not have been as effective. Now through this new system, it's going to cut out all the fat, and it may not show as many of your ads to as many people, but it's going to show it to the right people. And we'll talk through how you can do that. Okay, so Meta uses an analogy to explain it a little bit further. Imagine having a personal concierge who knows your taste so well that they don't just understand that you covet shoes, but that you like to wear red flip-flops on the beach. Okay, so it's very specific and very niche, okay? And again, that's kind of a precursor, a foreshadowing into what we're gonna talk about here in a second. Because I'm gonna break down examples. I'm actually gonna give you all the different examples that you should use for apparel that I think will be helpful for you. Bottom line, Andromeda's Meta new retrieval engine, it takes millions of ads, narrows them to a few thousand candidates, and does so in a way Meta claims is faster, smarter, and more personal than before. Not only are we going to get into diversification, which we're going to talk about here, we're actually going to get more specific to the targeting that we need to do to our audience. So if you're going after a mom, okay, that's very general, right? Versus a new mom, versus a mom with a child who has had a kid that maybe was in the NICU, or a child who is 1 year old. Like there, you can get very, very specific. So this says, as businesses upload more and more creatives to support diversification strategy, Meta's Andromeda works behind the scenes to power more complex models that allows Meta to pick the right creative to deliver more personalized ads and relevant and interesting. What we are telling people, and we've been telling people for a very long time, is to create more content and to diversify the content. Some people are listening, and more ads have flooded the system than ever, and a lot of them are just not spending, or they're not as effective, or they are not getting the budget that they need because they are not good ads. A lot of people are freaking out because their ads are not working, and mostly it's because they did interest targeting, mostly it's because they did lookalike audiences, mostly they've been doing these bid caps, all these things that Meta basically says, please do not do. A couple of things to note, and then we'll jump into this a little bit deeper. Stop chasing the perfect combo of ad copies and creative. There isn't one, okay? So variations of that. Number two, targeting largely happens in the ad now. Age, gender, location, again, keep it broad, open targeting. We've been saying this for a very long time. I actually lost a client for a little bit because they were like, no, your guys' strategy is too simple. We've got to do all these different bells and whistles and whatever else, and we got to do interest targeting and stack these and then, do ABO and do budget that way. I guess at this point it's come full circle. All right, use Advantage Plus defaults. Basically, choose the placements. Meta will find the right placements for you. Okay, when you're creating content, make sure that it fits well into most placements. Meta is going to choose those. They really want you to choose the Advantage Plus placements. Simplify your structure. Okay, we've talked about this. I'm going to draw this on the board here in a second. I'm going to give you the account structure. It's very simple. All right, guys, so real quick, I wanted to say a quick hey, howdy, and hello. So my name is Aaron, and alongside my business partner, Christian, we built this channel for you, clothing brand owners. And our goal is to give you the tools to build a profitable clothing brand that could change you and your family's lives. And if you have found any value in this video so far, please give us a nice little like and subscribe. It is 100% free, and it really does help. So if you do this in the next 3 seconds, I will share with you the last book that I just finished, which is Alex Hormozi's Money Models. Very good book, very short read. All right, so unfortunately, I've had too many conversations that turned into disgruntled ones because for the last 5 years, I've told people, just like I mentioned earlier, to stop using interest targeting or lookalike audiences or bid caps or trying to do ad set budget optimization. Meta has literally said they are less effective, but people will die on that hill and honestly get a little upset with me. Yes, the platform is so good at its job that when you do not follow the best practices, you could get a couple of sales, which is kind of counterintuitive because you get some sales from doing the wrong thing and then it gets rewarded, but the system just wants you to succeed. Meta wants a simplified account structure and setup so that the heavy lifting can be done by the machine. And Andromeda is just another step forward in this ultimate goal for Meta. It wants us to stop doing all that, and it wants us to be the input that we have to drive the decisions is the creative, and then it would handle anything else. Meta also really wants creative diversification. We talked about that. So what does that actually mean? It means know your audience so well that you could speak to them directly, not just in general. I can talk to a very specific audience, right? I can go after Gen Z. I could say I'm looking for somebody who's 26 years old. I could say they've graduated college. I could say they live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And I could say that they are in their first job and maybe about to get married. Like I want to be very, very specific. The way we teach clothing brands to do this is through our 3-step approach. That way you can find out exactly who the audience is. But before we do that, before I jump into all of that, I want to say that if you are looking for the clarity on why your clothing brand isn't growing like it should be, you can schedule a free strategy call with us. It's 45 minutes. All you need to do is pick a time on the calendar that works best for you. There is a link in the description down below. There are limited spots, so go do that right now. Okay, so let me pull this up for you because there are 3 parts to this. And if you've been watching our videos at all, don't worry, you're not missing out on anything. If you have never seen a video of ours, or if this is your first time, this is a reminder. If you do not have these documents, you need to go get them. I'll tell you how to get them here in a second. So defining your struggling avatar. You need to understand who your customer is. There is a lot of words here. There's a lot of information. There's a lot of details here because it matters. Your avatar is the most important part of your business. If you don't understand your customer or who you are serving, your business will fail. And just like your ads, if you don't know who your customer is, everything stems from that, your business will fail. So it goes through the specifics of what is the problem, which again, I'll draw this out because I think it'll be helpful, but it's very, very simple, right? Nobody buys anything unless there's a problem. And I get all the time where people are like, well, my clothing doesn't solve a problem. I don't have this athletic line, or I don't have this new innovative way to wear clothes. And it's like, I get that, but you can still solve a problem with your clothing. If you are, let's say for example, a boutique, and let's say you're serving women who are more plus size, but they don't have the more fashionable, up-to-date apparel that a lot of other boutiques have just because they don't have them in your sizes. You could be solving that problem for somebody. But you want to go through the struggling avatar, and then you're going to go through and then you're going to offer your clothes, which we just call this the unique solution. This is when somebody is a little bit sad. You're going to offer them the unique solution. And then the unique solution just breaks down what is your product, what's your position in the marketplace, how are you different? Unique solution, at this point, they're probably like, hey, I don't know, I haven't experienced it. And then you go through what we call a future pace hero. Now the future pace hero is what is life like afterwards. Okay, you want to label this person. So somebody who maybe was frustrated that they could not find clothes that not only fit them, but they actually were a little bit more depressed or have a level of anxiety or wouldn't go out with their friends. And then they discovered this clothing line that you created. And their life afterwards is significantly better, right? They maybe have more friends, they have more conversations, they feel more confident. All of those things really end in a smiley face. Okay, so we go from problem to solution to life afterwards. When you can do that, you will make more sales. If you want these documents and you want all three of them and a video to kind of walk you through exactly how to execute these for your own brand so that you can finally not only make ads work, but also make the rest of your website and everything that you create more feasible because you know who your audience is, just comment the word avatar down below. You can get access to these documents. Now that you know who your audience is, you need to create concepts, and each concept is a new ad set. So I'll walk through that here in a second. It'll make more sense. Photos and videos can be in the same campaign, but I do break it up by concept types and format types as well. So one concept could be flat lays that are static, and one could be videos. Let me go back here and let me explain this. All right, so we have a campaign. It's campaign budget optimization, which means the budget is distributed. They have ad sets. The ad sets are different concepts. So a concept could be, let's say for example, a new mom. And inside of there could be a new mom, and these could actually be all static. And the only difference between the two of these are videos, okay? I like to do the concepts in different ad sets, and I also like the formats to be different as well. New mom, static images, new mom, videos. And then you have different ads, different formats for this. So this could be, so just as a couple of examples, you could have a founder, like POV, you could have a POV video that's just a static and it's POV, your new mom. You could do a POV video where it's more of a 30-second, 40-second video. You could do a founder story that is a video, or a founder story that's more written like a blog. But the creatives are completely different, and the formats, since they are different, would be in two different ad sets like we have here. All right, so personalization by persona. So number one, the persona could be a fitness enthusiast. The example angle here could be gear that moves when you do. Example ad concept. So this would be the ad set here. The concept could be UGC style gym video showing stretch and sweat resistance within the product. You could also do, again, the busy mom. So the busy mom is the persona from daycare drop off to date night, one outfit. Okay, so that's an example angle. And then the example ad concept. So a carousel showing outfits styled 3 different ways with kids in the background. So those are personalization by persona. There are several of them, okay? And like I said, I want to make this very clear. Second way to do this is personalization by creative format. So you could have short form UGC video, 10 to 15 seconds, and you could do is a use case anyway. Hook driven for cold audiences. Okay, so we're going completely cold audience. I didn't think leggings could make me look this good. Okay, so still going with that brand. Testimonial video, 30, 45 seconds. This is more for like warm retargeting, because again, if you're going by personalization by creative format, you're gonna have people at different stages of the buying process. So warm retargeting, I've worn these joggers every day this week. You could do a static photo, you could do a carousel, before and after. Before and after would be really cool, especially if you are a gym brand or something like that, but you could do results-based. Number 3, personalization by demographics and visual identity. All right, so age, big part of this. You could do gender, ethnicity, body type, okay? So for age, I talked about it earlier, 22-year-old wearing a streetwear brand versus a 40-year-old styling the same piece of work. Ethnicity, you could do reflecting different ethnic groups and identical product shots to improve relatability. So Meta's gonna find other people like you. If you're using an Asian female, it's gonna be completely different than a white male, or a 65-year-old black guy versus a 40-year-old white woman. Like, it's completely different. It's gonna target different people, so you can diversify from that. Number 4, personalization by desire or pain point, okay? So this supersedes a lot of things. So the desire, comfort, finally jeans that feel like sweats. Okay, an example of this, so UGC of someone stretching in the denim, they could be pulling it up. I'm a big fan, honestly, of Levi's. This is what I'm rocking at right now. They're very comfortable. They also feel like sweatpants. Confidence, so clothes that make you stand taller. Interesting. Before and after posture comparison. Love that. Number 5, personalization by context. What does this mean? So show them the same product fits in different life moments. Okay, so you got the work day. All right, soft enough for the office, sharp enough for the boardroom. You got the weekend, so weekday ready in seconds, just throw it on. You could do date night, all right, so when comfort meets your confidence. You can do personalization by funnel stage. I love this one too, and don't worry, Meta's gonna do a lot of the targeting for you, actually all of the targeting for you. So cold, storytelling or curiosity. Warm, proof, validation. The hot audience, urgency, some kind of offer. All right, number 7, This is an advanced example, if you will. So a full diversified set. So if you sell a $65 performance hoodie here, you might upload one UGC video, 25-year-old man talking about breathability during workouts, one carousel of a woman styling the hoodie casually, one static photo, a lifestyle shot at the coffee shop, one video testimonial from a 40-year-old dad talking about the durability, one reel. You could use an influencer, somebody with some followers, maybe some good engagement. 7 days, 7 looks, could make it a challenge even. And the last thing here, I put one product demo, okay? So rain test showing the waterproof fabric. Okay, those are all different types of creative that I could pop into here. They're all different. And you could do different variations of that. Like this, the rain test showing the waterproof fabric, you could do one video where it's just raining outside. You could do another one where you jump into a pool. You could do another one where you're like outside of Niagara Falls. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, you can have multiple variations of just even that. What's cool is that this Andromeda update, you can add in more ads to the ad set. Some say they've had success with 25 to 50 in there. I probably wouldn't go that crazy yet. So each ad set, each concept could have 15, 20 different ads inside of there. Obviously, budget would be a factor here. So probably cannot put 20 different ads per ad set and concept. If you got $50 a day or $100 a day, you're gonna need a much larger budget for that. All right, if you want to go deeper on how to tell stories to the right audience, we talked about here, at the right time, go watch this video on storytelling right here next. All right, y'all, thank you so much for watching this video. We'll see you next time, and P.S., make sure you subscribe.